What kind of challenge does Shedeur Sanders present, and how is the Browns' offense different with him at quarterback?
We only have a game and a half to go off of, but they're going to run the ball. No one's really giving the young man attention, and that's the back. I mean, he's freaking good. I don't want to mispronounce his name. Number 10, he's really good. Jerry Judy's really good. They've gotten Malachi Corley involved. The rookie tight end's doing a really nice job. So they're a really good offense. They've got a style to them. Shedeur, he came in over the last week and a half. Like, his off-schedule stuff is going to be a problem. Could already tell that.
The San Francisco 49ers just fired a warning shot across the bow of the Cleveland Browns. And what defensive coordinator Robert Saleh said about Shedeur Sanders in his pregame press conference sent shockwaves through the entire NFL. This wasn't the standard coach speak about preparation and respecting your opponent. No, Saleh just delivered one of the most brutally honest, revealing, and downright alarming evaluations of a rookie quarterback you'll ever hear from an opposing coach.
As he gets comfortable in what they're asking him to do, he's only going to get better because you could tell how important it is to him and how much work he's going to put into it. And a guy who's as good, as gifted as he is, both physically and mentally, and with the confidence he has, you just know he's going to get better. So they'll evolve as an offense. I wish I could tell you exactly what it's going to be. We have an idea of what it's going to be on Sunday, but I'm sure they're going to keep adding little wrinkles to help him grow as a football player, and we're just going to have to be great in those moments and play good, sound, fundamental football.
He didn't just compliment Shedeur, he practically admitted the 49ers defense faces a problem they're not sure they can solve. And if you're a Browns fan, you need to hear every word of what he said, because it validates everything we've been preaching about this kid since he took his first NFL snap. Robert Saleh isn't some rookie coordinator still finding his footing. This man has been immersed in elite football for decades. He's coached against the best quarterbacks on the planet and witnessed every style, every skill set, every type of signal caller the NFL can produce. He's game planned against Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, you name them. So when he stands at the podium discussing a rookie making just his second career start and sounds this concerned, this respectful, trust me, it matters. This isn't courtesy. This isn't gamesmanship. This is a defensive coordinator genuinely worried about what Shedeur Sanders might do to his defense.
He's a good young quarterback. He's mobile. He's got big arm, tremendous confidence, and he made a couple of really, really good throws in the game against Vegas, extending plays, getting out of the pocket, delivering the ball where it needed to be delivered. Obviously showed good command of the huddle and at the line of scrimmage.
Let me break down exactly what Saleh said, because every sentence carries weight if you know how to read between the lines. He's a good young quarterback. He can move around. He has a big arm, a lot of confidence. Sounds like standard praise on the surface, right? But listen to the emphasis on a lot of confidence. That's not just saying Shedeur believes in himself. That's a defensive coordinator acknowledging this quarterback won't be rattled by pressure, won't be intimidated by exotic blitzes or disguised coverages, and won't fold when the game's on the line. The thing defensive coordinators fear most is a quarterback with unshakable confidence, because you can't scheme that away. You can't blitz it out of him. You can't confuse it with coverage rotations. A confident quarterback will stand in the pocket and deliver strikes with your best pass rushers bearing down on him. But then Saleh said something that should have every Browns fan fired up and every 49ers fan slightly nervous. He highlighted Shedeur's performance against the Raiders, specifically focusing on plays where Shedeur extended the play, escaped the pocket, and threw the ball where it needed to go. In the game against Vegas, he made a few really great throws that kept plays going, got out of the pocket, and threw the ball where it needed to go. That's not generic praise. That's a defensive coordinator identifying the exact skills that make any defense's job exponentially harder. Quarterbacks who extend plays, who create outside of structure, who can throw accurately on the move. Those are the guys who shred even the best laid game plans. And here's where it gets truly fascinating. Saleh essentially admits the 49ers are preparing for Shedeur to improve week over week. You expect someone like him, who is confident and has the right skills. Every week he's going to get better and better. Think about what he's really saying here. This is a rookie's second start, and Saleh is already projecting forward, assuming Shedeur will be sharper by Sunday than he was last week. You don't say that about a game manager or a limited quarterback just trying not to make mistakes. That's what you say about a player who genuinely possesses star-level trajectory, someone whose ceiling is so high that weekly improvement is practically inevitable. The most revealing thing Saleh said, the comment that should have Browns fans doing backflips and 49ers fans slightly sweating, was when he addressed Shedeur's off-schedule ability. His off-schedule work is going to be a problem. I could already tell that. Let me translate that from coach speak into plain English. Saleh is acknowledging that Shedeur can hurt defenses when plays break down, when protection collapses, when receivers aren't immediately open, when he has to create something out of nothing. That's an elite trait. That's what separates franchise quarterbacks from merely competent players. Any decent quarterback can execute when everything goes according to plan. The great ones make plays when everything goes wrong and chaos takes over. Off-schedule playmaking ability is terrifying for defensive coordinators because it means all the preparation, all the film study, all the blitz packages and coverage schemes can become worthless in an instant. You can call the perfect play, execute it flawlessly, and still surrender a huge gain because the quarterback escaped pressure and found someone downfield. That's what keeps defensive coordinators awake at night. And Robert Saleh just admitted Shedeur Sanders possesses that ability as a rookie in his second start. Saleh also praised Shedeur's command at the line of scrimmage and in the huddle. Clearly knew how to run the huddle in the line of scrimmage. Let me explain why this matters for those who might not fully grasp it. One of the biggest criticisms of Shedeur throughout the draft process was the concern about whether he could handle NFL huddles, keep pace with the speed and complexity of NFL offenses, and make adjustments at the line of scrimmage. Those narratives have been completely obliterated in fewer than 2 games. Even opposing coaches actively preparing to beat him acknowledge he's running the offense like a seasoned pro, not a rookie in his second start. You can hear genuine respect in Saleh's voice when he discusses Shedeur. This isn't politeness or mind games. This is a coach who studied the tape and recognizes what Shedeur brings to the table. He knows the Browns might have discovered something special. He'll only get better as he gets used to what they're asking him to do, because you can tell how much it means to him and how hard he's going to work at it. You can tell he's going to get better because he's so smart and strong and he has so much confidence. What Saleh is really saying is that Shedeur checks every box. Physical tools? Check. Mental processing? Check. Confidence? Check. Work ethic? Check. That's the complete package. That's not a quarterback with potential who might carve out a decent career as a backup or game manager. That's the profile of a franchise quarterback, and it's coming from a defensive coordinator preparing to face him, not some analyst chasing clicks. Now let's be clear. The 49ers defense isn't going to roll over for Shedeur. This is a well-coached, talented unit. They'll disguise coverages, generate pressure, and make life difficult for quarterbacks. They have playmakers at every level. Yet even with all that talent and preparation, Saleh is clearly concerned about Shedeur's ability to hurt them. That speaks volumes about the level of respect Shedeur has already earned across the league, after just 1 start. Now let's shift gears and talk about Jerry Jeudy for a moment, because what he said at that press conference was interesting for an entirely different set of reasons. When asked how he'd handle yet another quarterback change in his career, Jeudy gave a brutally honest, somewhat detached answer. "I just keep being who I am. There's nothing I can't handle, just me. To be honest, I just keep running routes, getting open, and doing my thing. There was nothing else I could do. I can't really control anything else." That's not exactly a ringing endorsement of the situation, is it? That response reveals Jeudy is exhausted by this constant cycle. He's been through it too many times in his career, rotating through quarterbacks, offensive systems, coordinators. But here's what needs to be addressed, and I'm going to be blunt about it. Jerry Jeudy needs to own his performance because that fumble in Shedeur's first start was completely inexcusable. Shedeur placed the ball perfectly, right where it needed to be. Jeudy caught it, then gave it away. That wasn't on the quarterback. That wasn't on the system. That was a veteran receiver failing to secure the football. If Jeudy holds onto that ball, Shedeur's stat line looks even better. His QBR climbs higher, and the narrative around his debut becomes even more positive. Instead, we're discussing a missed opportunity, because a veteran receiver couldn't execute the most fundamental aspect of his position, protecting the football. When asked why he seemed more upbeat this week, Jeudy mentioned having a life outside of football, which is also somewhat concerning. Look, everyone understands players are human beings with lives beyond the game, but perhaps that's not the ideal message to emphasize when your team is fighting for every win and your rookie quarterback is battling to establish himself. The legendary receivers, the ones who become icons, are obsessed during the season. They eat, breathe, and sleep football from September through January. They can pursue balance during the offseason, but when the grind begins, they're locked in completely. There's a stark contrast between Shedeur's intensity and focus versus Jeudy's detachment. Shedeur approaches every day like his career depends on it, constantly studying film, building chemistry with receivers, absorbing an NFL offense at breakneck speed. Meanwhile, Jeudy is reminding everyone that football isn't his entire existence. One of these approaches typically leads to championships. The other creates players who are talented but never quite reach their full potential. But let's return to the 49ers matchup because this is going to be absolutely compelling. Robert Saleh will throw everything at Shedeur: disguised coverages, exotic blitzes, pre-snap movement designed to confuse and overwhelm a young quarterback. Saleh is among the best at creating pressure and generating chaos, and the 49ers have the personnel to execute complex defensive schemes. This is a legitimate test for Shedeur. The competition is significantly tougher than the Raiders' defense he faced in his debut. So what will Shedeur do in response? Can he handle San Francisco's speed and complexity? Or will he display the same composure and confidence that made Saleh nervous during his press conference? Based on everything we've witnessed so far, how Shedeur handled his first game, his preparation, his mindset, I'm betting the kid rises to the occasion. He might not light up a scoreboard. He might struggle at times, but I don't believe he'll be intimidated or overwhelmed. Saleh made some intriguing comments about the Browns' offensive weapons, particularly the running back situation. They're going to run with it. People aren't paying much attention to the young man. The back, he's really good. He's really good at number 10. That's substantial praise for the Browns' ground game. And it's an astute observation, because if Cleveland can establish the run, it alleviates tremendous pressure from Shedeur. It enables play action, keeps the 49ers defense honest, and prevents them from simply pinning their ears back and rushing the passer every down. Saleh also acknowledged the Browns have weapons. He mentioned Jerry Jeudy's talent and how the Browns have involved rookie tight end Malachi Corley. Shedeur doesn't need to play hero ball on every snap. He has legitimate playmakers around him. And if they can stay healthy and execute their assignments, this offense could be dangerous. But it all originates with the quarterback. Shedeur needs to make accurate reads, deliver precise throws, and manage the game effectively. The pressure on both teams in this matchup cannot be overstated. The 49ers, fighting for playoff positioning in a crowded NFC, cannot afford to drop games against teams they should defeat. The Browns are trying to build something, establish an identity, and prove Shedeur is their guy. The stakes are enormous for both sides, so expect the intensity to be sky high. For Shedeur, this represents an opportunity to prove he can compete with the elite. Beating the Raiders was excellent, but critics will always dismiss it by pointing to their weak defense. Performing well against the 49ers, even in a loss, would silence numerous doubters. If he can orchestrate the offense, make intelligent decisions, protect the football, and demonstrate he can hang with San Francisco's defense, that's a massive statement. The off-schedule playmaking Saleh mentioned will be absolutely critical. The 49ers will generate pressure. They'll win one-on-one matchups. Protection will break down at times. When that happens, Cleveland's ability to sustain drives and put points on the board will depend on whether Shedeur can escape, extend plays, and locate receivers downfield. If all he can do is operate from a clean pocket with perfect protection, it's going to be a brutal afternoon. But if he can create the way Saleh believes he can, Cleveland has a genuine shot to win this game. The mental test will be equally demanding. The 49ers will present Shedeur with unfamiliar looks and disguises. They'll attempt to confuse him with pre-snap movement and post-snap rotations. He'll need to push his processing speed, read recognition, and ball placement to their limits against one of the sharpest defensive minds in football. This is where all the film study, preparation, and mental capacity come into play against elite competition. It's also noteworthy that Saleh acknowledged Shedeur will continue developing as the offense expands, that Cleveland will keep adding wrinkles to support his growth. He recognizes the Browns coaches will tailor the offense to Shedeur's strengths, that they're building around what he does well rather than forcing him into an ill-fitting system. That's quality coaching, and it's exactly what you want to see from an organization that believes they have found their franchise quarterback. Saleh keeps circling back to the confidence factor, which clearly strikes him as both impressive and problematic. Confident quarterbacks don't panic when adversity hits, making them dangerous. They don't second-guess their decisions or play tentatively. They trust their abilities and preparation, so they let it rip. That mentality can produce mistakes and turnovers when confidence crosses into recklessness, but it can also generate explosive plays and clutch moments that win games. The 49ers defense understands their assignment: pressure Shedeur, force quick decisions, try to create turnovers, and don't let him settle into rhythm. If they can force a mistake or two early, they might shake his confidence and make it a long day. But if Shedeur can weather the early storm, connect on a few significant throws, and show he's unfazed, this game could develop into a genuine battle. The supporting cast around Shedeur also needs to execute. Judy needs to catch the football and secure it. The running backs need to perform effectively to keep the defense honest. The offensive line needs to provide Shedeur sufficient time to operate. It's not all on the rookie quarterback, but he'll receive the lion's share of credit or criticism depending on the outcome. Football is the ultimate team sport, and Cleveland needs contributions from everyone if they want to topple San Francisco. One final point about Saleh's comments: the respect and concern in his voice should tell Browns fans everything they need to know about Shedeur Sanders. This isn't a coordinator dismissing a rookie or viewing him as an easy mark. This is a respected defensive mind acknowledging that Cleveland may have uncovered a genuine franchise quarterback, someone who possesses the physical tools and mental makeup to be special. The fact that this endorsement came from an opposing coach who has zero incentive to overstate Shedeur's abilities might be the most powerful validation of all. The stage is set for Sunday. A rookie quarterback making his second start faces one of the NFL's best defenses, coached by one of the game's sharpest defensive minds. Shedeur Sanders has already proven he belongs in the NFL. Now he has the opportunity to prove he can compete with the best, that Saleh is right to fear the off-schedule playmaking ability, that the confidence and command will hold up under complex schemes. This is where legends are forged, or where promising young players receive a harsh reality check. If you're as pumped as I am for this game, smash that like button right now. Drop a comment below with your prediction for Sunday. Does Shedeur rise to the challenge and prove he can hang with elite defenses? Or does San Francisco's experience and scheme prove too much for a rookie in his second start? And make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any updates, analysis, or insider information on Shedeur Sanders and the Browns all season long. This is going to be an all-out war on Sunday, and you won't want to miss a single second of it all. Robert Saleh just revealed exactly what the 49ers are worried about.